The bass of the club vibrated in my chest, a rhythmic thumping that matched the frantic beat of my heart. I sat in the VIP booth nursing a vodka tonic I had no intention of drinking, watching the crowd writhe on the dance floor below. They looked like ants swarming chaotic free. I envied them. Smile, Elena. My father's voice cut through the noise. Vittorio Rossi, the Don of the city, sat beside me like a king on his throne. He was smoking a cigar, the acrid smoke curling around us like a protective barrier. It's your birthday, 21. You should be dancing. I don't feel like dancing, Papa, I said, smoothing the skirt of my red dress. I feel like I'm on display. You are, he agreed, gesturing to the men standing around us. Bodyguards, suits, killers. You are the princess. Everyone is watching. He was right. Everyone was watching. The rival families, the business partners, the enemies. They were all here in the Gilded Cage, my father's flagship nightclub. And I was the prize, the untouched, innocent daughter of the most dangerous man in New York. Go, he urged, pushing me gently. Have fun. Marco is watching the door. You're safe. I sighed and stood up. Safe. That was the only word I ever heard. Safe in the penthouse, safe in the armored car, safe in the club surrounded by men with guns. But I didn't want to be safe. I wanted to be real. I walked down the stairs to the main floor. The music was deafening. I pushed through the crowd, heading for the bar. I needed water. I needed air. Excuse me? I shouted to the bartender. Water, please. He didn't hear me. He was busy flirting with a blonde in a sequined dress. Hey! I tried again. Suddenly a man appeared next to me. He leaned over the bar, whistling sharply. The bartender snapped to attention. Water for the lady, the man said. His voice was deep, rough like gravel. And a whiskey for me. The bartender nodded quickly, scurrying to fulfill the order. I turned to look at my savior. He was tall, lean, but muscular, wearing a black leather jacket over a white t-shirt. He had dark, messy hair and a day's worth of stubble on his jaw. But it was his eyes that caught me. They were amber like a wolf's, intense and assessing. He looked dangerous. Not in the way my father's men looked dangerous, polished and controlled. He looked wild, unpredictable. Thanks, I said, taking the water glass. Don't mention it, he replied, downing his whiskey in one gulp. He slammed the glass down. You looked like you were about to die of thirst. Or boredom. A little of both, I admitted. I'm Elena. I know, he said. I stiffened. Of course he knew. Everyone knew. And you are? I asked, my guard going up. Damon, he said. Just Damon. No last name. No, sir. Do you work for my father? I asked. Not yet. He smirked. I'm applying. Tonight. Applying for what? Security. He nodded towards the VIP booth where my father was holding court. I heard he's hiring. Thought I'd try my luck. You don't look like his usual type, I observed. You're too rugged. Maybe he needs something different. Damon leaned closer. He smelled of leather and rain. Maybe he needs someone who isn't afraid to get his hands dirty. A shiver ran down my spine. My father's men don't get their hands dirty. They wear gloves. Damon laughed. It was a low, genuine sound that made my stomach flip. Touché, princess. Don't call me that. Why, it fits. The tower, the guards, the dragon. He gestured to my father. He's not a dragon, I defended weakly. He's just protective. Suffocating, Damon corrected. I can see it in your eyes. You want to run. I stared at him. How did he know? How did this stranger see right through me when my own father couldn't? I can't run, I whispered. There's nowhere to go. There's always somewhere, he said. You just need the right guide. Before I could answer, a commotion erupted near the entrance, shouting, a crash, the sound of glass breaking. I spun around. 3 men were forcing their way past the bouncers. They were wearing masks, and they had guns. Down! Damon shouted. He tackled me. We hit the floor hard, his body covering mine as the first shots rang out. Bang! Bang! Screams filled the club. The music cut out. People were stampeding, trampling each other to get to the exits. Stay down, Damon ordered, his voice calm amidst the chaos. He pulled a gun from his waistband, not a standard issue, a heavy silver pistol. You have a gun? I gasped. Everyone has a gun tonight, he muttered. He peeked over the bar. 3 shooters, moving towards the VIP booth. They're after your dad. My father. Papa! I screamed, trying to get up. Damon shoved me back down. Stay here. You'll get killed. I have to help him. You can't help him. You're a liability. He looked at me. His amber eyes were burning. Trust me, he said. I'll get them. He vaulted over the bar. I watched, terrified, as he moved. He was fast, lethal. He flanked the shooters, using the pillars for cover. He fired. 2 shots. 2 men went down. The 3rd man turned, aiming at Damon. Damon didn't flinch. He fired again. The man dropped. Silence fell over the club. Smoke and the smell of gunpowder hung in the air. My father stood up in the VIP booth, unharmed but furious. His guards were surrounding him, guns drawn too late. Damon stood in the center of the dance floor, his gun lowered. He looked up at my father. My father looked down at him. Who are you? My father demanded, his voice booming. The guy who just saved your life, Damon replied coolly. My father descended the stairs, his guards trailing behind him. He walked up to Damon. He looked at the dead men. Ivanov's men, my father spat. Russian scum. He turned to Damon. You handled yourself well. Where did you learn to shoot like that? Army? Damon lied. I knew it was a lie. Army guys didn't hold their guns like that. Gangsters did. What's your name, son? Damon. Damon Salvatore. Well, Damon. My father clapped a heavy hand on his shoulder. You're hired. Starting now. You're on my personal detail. I stood up from behind the bar, my legs shaking. Elena! My father rushed to me. Are you hurt? Did they touch you? I'm fine, Papa, I said, looking at Damon. He saved me. My father looked at Damon with new respect. You saved my daughter too. Then I owe you a debt. No debt, Damon said, his eyes locking onto mine. Just doing the job. You're not just detail anymore, my father decided. You're her detail. You guard Elena, 24/7. No one gets near her. Understood? Damon smirked, a slow, dangerous smile. Understood, sir. I'll stick to her like glue. My heart pounded. I was safe. But looking at Damon, at the predator in his eyes, I realized I had just traded one danger for another. The dragon had hired a wolf to guard the princess, and the wolf looked hungry. Later that night, back at the penthouse, my room was a fortress of silk and velvet. I sat on my bed, unable to sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard the gunshots. There was a knock on my door. Come in. The door opened. Damon stood there. He had changed into a suit, one of my father's spares, probably. It fit him well, highlighting his broad shoulders, but he looked uncomfortable in it, like a wild animal in a collar. Checking the perimeter, he said. Your window was unlocked. I like the fresh air, I said. It's a security risk. He walked over and locked it. He closed the curtains. You're very good at this, I said. Being a buzzkill. He turned to me. I'm good at keeping you alive. There's a difference. He walked towards the bed. He stopped at the foot of it. You were brave today, he said unexpectedly. Most girls would have screamed. I did scream, I reminded him. For my dad. You tried to run to him. That was stupid, but brave. He's my father. I love him. Damon's expression darkened. He's a bad man, Elena. You know that, right? He protects me. He owns you, Damon corrected. There's a difference. He leaned in, resting his hands on the footboard. What do you want, Damon? I whispered. I want to know. He said, his voice low. If you're worth it. Worth what? The trouble. He looked at me for a long moment. Then he turned and walked to the door. Sleep well, princess. I'll be right outside. He closed the door. I lay back on the pillows. Is he worth it? I didn't know who he was. I didn't know where he came from. But for the first time in my life, I didn't feel like a prisoner. I felt like I was part of the game. I stood outside her door, my back against the wall. I checked my phone, a secure line. Message to handler. I'm in. Rossi hired me. I'm guarding the daughter. Handler good. Get close to her. Use her. Find out where he keeps the ledger. Damon copy. I put the phone away. I closed my eyes. I could still smell her perfume. Jasmine and vanilla. Use her. It was the mission. It was the job. I was an undercover cop. I was here to take down the Rossi crime family. Elena was just a pawn. A way in. But when I looked into her big brown eyes, when I felt her trembling body under mine behind that bar, I felt a twinge of something I hadn't felt in years. Guilt. She was innocent. She didn't know her father was a monster, and I was about to destroy her world. Sorry, princess, I whispered to the closed door. But in this story, the knight is the one who burns the castle down. I checked my gun. The game had begun. Life with Damon was like living with a shadow that occasionally talked back. He was everywhere. He drove me to art class. He stood outside the dressing room when I shopped. He even tasted my food before I ate it, claiming it was protocol, but I suspected he just liked the cannoli. It had been 2 weeks since the shooting. My father was busier than ever dealing with the fallout, hunting down the rest of Ivanov's men, which meant I was left alone with Damon. Do you ever smile? I asked him one afternoon. We were in the library. I was trying to sketch. He was standing by the window brooding. Not on the clock, he said. You're always on the clock. Exactly. I sighed, throwing down my charcoal. I'm bored. Let's go out. No. Why not? Threat level is elevated. Your father said to stay put. My father isn't here. I stood up, walking towards him. And you work for me too. I want ice cream. Damon turned. He looked down at me, his amber eyes unreadable. Ice cream, he repeated flatly. Yes, gelato, from Mario's. It's 3 blocks away. We can order it in. It melts, I complained. Come on, Damon. Just a quick walk. Please, I'm going crazy in here. I gave him my best puppy dog eyes, the ones that usually worked on my father. Damon stared at me, his jaw twitched. Fine, he grunted. 10 minutes, wear a hat, and sunglasses. Yes. I grabbed my disguise. You're the best. I'm a pushover, he muttered, opening the door. The walk to Mario's was tense. Damon scanned every rooftop, every passing car. He walked so close to me, our arms brushed. We got our gelato. Pistachio for me, dark chocolate for him. See, I said, licking my spoon. No assassins, just sugar. Damon didn't relax. Yet. We sat on a bench in the small park across the street. So, I asked, tell me about yourself, the real Damon, not the soldier. There is no other Damon, he said, watching a pigeon peck at a crumb. Everyone has a story. Where did you grow up? Brooklyn, he said. Rough part. Family. Dead, he said shortly. I'm sorry. Don't be. It was a long time ago. He looked at me. What about you? What's your story? Princess? Besides being the Mafia's favorite daughter, I'm an artist, I said. Or I want to be. My father thinks it's a hobby. He wants me to marry a nice Italian boy and have babies. And you don't want that. I want our freedom, I admitted. I want to see the world, Paris, Rome, Tokyo, without a detail, without fear. Damon looked away. Freedom is overrated. It's dangerous out there. Maybe I like danger, I challenged. He looked back at me. His gaze dropped to my lips where a drop of pistachio ice cream was melting. You have no idea what danger is, he whispered. He reached out. His thumb brushed the corner of my mouth, wiping away the ice cream. His skin was rough hot. I froze. My breath hitched. Damon. Stay still, he murmured. His hand lingered on my cheek. For a second, I thought he was going to kiss me. The air between us crackled with electricity. Then he stiffened. His hand dropped to his gun. We have to go, he said sharply. What? Why? Black sedan, 3 o'clock, it circled the block twice. He grabbed my arm, pulling me up. Move! Now! We walked fast. Then we ran. The sedan screeched around the corner, following us. Alleyway, Damon shouted, shoving me into a narrow gap between two buildings. We ran down the alley. It was a dead end. A chain-link fence blocked our path. Damn it! Damon swore. The sedan stopped at the mouth of the alley. 2 men got out. Stay behind me, Damon ordered, drawing his gun. Damon, there are 2 of them. I can count, he snapped. The men advanced. Hand over the girl Salvatore, and we'll make it quick. Come and get her, Damon challenged. Gunfire erupted. Bang, bang, I screamed, covering my ears. Damon fired back. 1 man fell. The other man took cover behind a dumpster. Reloading, Damon shouted to me. Stay down. He ejected the magazine, slamming a new one in. The second man popped up. He wasn't aiming at Damon. He was aiming at me. No! Damon launched himself at me. He tackled me to the ground just as a bullet chipped the brick wall where my head had been. He shielded me with his body. He smelled of sweat and gunpowder and fear. He fired over his shoulder. 3 shots. Silence. He didn't move. He stayed on top of me, breathing heavy. Are you hit? He demanded, checking me over. No, I gasped. Are you? No. He looked down at me. His face was inches from mine. His eyes were wild, adrenaline-fueled. I told you, he hissed. I told you it was dangerous. You saved me, I whispered. Again. He stared at my lips. I should have left you in the tower, he groaned. Then he kissed me. It wasn't gentle. It was rough, desperate, terrifying. It was a kiss born of violence and survival. I kissed him back, wrapping my arms around his neck, pulling him closer. I didn't care about the dead men. I didn't care about my father. I only cared about him. He pulled away abruptly. We have to go, he said, his voice rough. Before the cops come. He helped me up. We ran back to the penthouse. Back in my room, Damon paced back and forth. He was furious. You could have died, he shouted, for ice cream. I'm sorry. I sat on the bed, hugging a pillow. I didn't know. That's the point. You don't know anything, you live in a bubble. He stopped pacing. He looked at me. Your father, he said. He has enemies everywhere. Do you know why? Because he's powerful? Because he's a criminal. Elena, he kills people. He sells drugs. He destroys lives. Stop it. I covered my ears. Don't talk about him like that. Damon walked over to me. He pulled my hands away from my ears. You need to know, he said intensely. You need to know who you're protected by and who you're protected from. Why are you telling me this? I asked, tears in my eyes. You work for him. I work for... He stopped. He almost said it. I work for the police. I work for you, he corrected. And I can't protect you if you don't understand the game. I don't want to play the game, I whispered. You were born into it, he said sadly. There's no opting out. He sat next to me on the bed, the anger drained out of him, leaving him tired. Elena, he said softly, if you had a chance to leave, to really leave, would you take it? Leave my father? Leave the life? Start over, somewhere new, where no one knows your name. I don't know how I could help you, he said. I know people. I could get you out. Why would you do that? My father would kill you. Maybe, he shrugged. Maybe I'm tired of the game, too. I looked at him. Was he serious? Was he offering to run away with me? Would you come with me? I asked. He looked at me. His eyes were tortured. I can't, he said. I have unfinished business. Then I'm not going, I said firmly. I'm not leaving without you. Damon closed his eyes. He looked like he was in pain. You're making this very difficult, princess, he murmured. Good. I leaned my head on his shoulder. Damon. Yeah. That kiss in the alley. Forget it, he said quickly. Adrenaline. Mistake. It didn't feel like a mistake. It was... He stood up. I'm your bodyguard. I can't be anything else. He walked to the door. Lock it, he ordered. And don't open it for anyone but me. He left. I locked the door. I touched my lips. Mistake or not, it was the most real thing I had ever felt. And I knew one thing for sure. Damon Salvatore wasn't just a bodyguard. He was hiding something. And I was going to find out what. I sat in the hallway, gun in hand. My phone buzzed. Handler. Did you get the location, Damon? Not yet. Almost. Handler. Hurry up. We're moving in next week, with or without the ledger. Damon. I need more time. Handler. You're getting too close, Damon. Remember the mission. She's a Rossi. I stared at the screen. She's a Rossi. But she was also Elena. The girl who liked pistachio gelato and sketched in the library. The girl who kissed me back in an alley full of dead bodies. I was supposed to betray her. I was supposed to send her father to prison and leave her with nothing. Damn it, I whispered. I was falling for the mark. Rule number 1 of undercover work: don't fall in love. I had broken it, and now I had to choose. The badge, or the girl. The penthouse was a cage, but it was a cage filled with tension so thick I could taste it. For 3 days, Damon avoided me. He did his job checking windows, scanning the street, standing guard, but he wouldn't look at me. He wouldn't talk to me unless it was about security protocols. Stay away from the window. Don't order food. Go to bed. It was maddening. I was in the living room trying to read, but the words blurred. Damon was standing by the door, back rigid, hand resting on his holster. Damon, I said, are we going to ignore the fact that you kissed me? I told you, he said without turning around. Adrenaline. You're lying. He turned then. His eyes were tired, shadowed. What do you want me to say, Elena? That I wanted to... that I think about it every second of every day. Fine, I do. Are you happy? My heart skipped a beat. Yes. Well, don't be, he snapped. Because it can't happen again. Your father trusts me. I can't betray him like that. You don't owe him anything, I argued. He pays you. It's not about money. It's about honor. He choked on the word honor. The irony was bitter on his tongue. Suddenly the front door opened. My father walked in. He looked exhausted but triumphant. Papa! I ran to him. Elena Tesoro! He hugged me. He smelled of cigars and victory. It's done. Ivanov is dealt with. Is it over? I asked hopefully. For now, he smiled. He looked at Damon. Salvatore, a word. They went into my father's study. I tried to listen at the door, but the wood was too thick. 10 minutes later, Damon came out. He looked pale. What happened? I whispered. Pack a bag, he said. What, why? Your father wants you out of the city, just for a few days, until the dust settles. Where are we going? A safe house, in the Hamptons. Just us. Just us. The drive to the Hamptons was silent. Damon drove fast, his eyes constantly checking the mirrors. The safe house was a sprawling mansion on a private beach. It was beautiful, isolated, and completely empty. Your father owns this, I asked, looking at the marble floors. One of his shell companies does, Damon said, dropping my bag in the hall. Pick a room, any room. I pick the master, I said boldly. Fine, I'll take the couch. There are 10 bedrooms, Damon. You don't need to sleep on the couch. I sleep by the door, he said. Old habits. That night a storm rolled in off the ocean. Thunder shook the house. I couldn't sleep. The house was too big, too quiet. I went downstairs. Damon was sitting on the terrace watching the storm. He was smoking a cigarette. I had never seen him smoke before. Those will kill you, I said, stepping out into the wind. Something will eventually. He shrugged, flicking ash. I sat next to him on the outdoor sofa. I was wearing a silk robe. I saw his eyes track the movement of the fabric. Why are you really here, Damon? I asked. To protect you. No, I mean, in this life. Why this job? You're smart. You could be anything. He took a long drag. I made some bad choices, got in with the wrong crowd. This is the only thing I'm good at. Violence. Survival. He looked at me. The storm lightning illuminated his face, making him look wild. Elena, he said, if you found out I wasn't who you thought I was, would you hate me? Who do I think you are? A hero. You are a hero. No, he shook his head. I'm a liar, a fraud. Everyone lies, I said, reaching for his hand. My father lies. I lie. It's part of being human. My lies are bigger, he whispered. They destroy people. Tell me, I urged. Tell me your biggest lie. He looked at our joined hands. I told you I wouldn't kiss you again. My breath hitched. That was a lie. The biggest one. He dropped the cigarette. He crushed it under his boot. Then he pulled me into his lap. Damon, be quiet, he growled and captured my mouth. The storm raged around us, but I didn't feel the rain. I only felt him. His hands were everywhere, desperate, claiming. He kissed my neck, my shoulder, my chest. I shouldn't do this, he muttered against my skin. I'm going to hell for this. I'll go with you, I promised. He carried me inside, kicking the door shut. He carried me up the stairs to the master bedroom. He laid me on the bed. He looked down at me, his eyes burning with conflict and desire. Are you sure? He asked. Once I start? I'm sure. I pulled him down. We made love with the ferocity of a storm. It wasn't gentle. It was a confession, a goodbye. He worshipped my body, touching every inch, memorizing me. Elena. He groaned my name like a prayer. Damon, I whispered back. In the aftermath, we lay tangled together, listening to the rain. He traced patterns on my back. I have to tell you something, he said suddenly. What? I asked sleepily. He stopped. His phone buzzed on the nightstand. He picked it up. He read the message. His face went white. What is it? I asked, sitting up. We have to go, he said, jumping out of bed and pulling on his pants. Now. Why is it my father? No, he said, grabbing his gun. It's complication. We ran downstairs. Damon, talk to me, I shouted. Who is coming? The police, he said. A raid. They found the house. The police? I gasped. But my father owns the police. Not these police, he said grimly. Feds. We ran out the back door towards the beach. There's a boat, Damon said. At the dock. We can take it. Running from the feds? I asked, breathless. Damon, what did you do? He stopped. He turned to me. The rain plastered his hair to his face. I didn't do anything, he said. I called them. I froze. The world stopped spinning. What? I called them, he repeated. I gave them the location. Why? I whispered. Why would you do that? Because I'm a cop, Elena. The words hit me like a physical blow. Cop, undercover, liar. No. I shook my head. That's not true. You're Damon. I'm Detective Damon Salvatore, he said, pulling a badge from his pocket. NYPD Organized Crime Task Force. I stared at the badge. It was real. You used me, I choked out. You got close to me to get to my father. Yes, he admitted. You slept with me for the mission. No. He grabbed my shoulders. No, that was real. That was me breaking every rule in the book. Don't touch me. I shoved him away. You traitor. Elena, listen to me. Your father is going down tonight. I did this to save you. Save me by destroying my family. Your family is a criminal empire. He kills people. He's my father. And I'm the man who loves you, he shouted over the thunder. I called them here to get you out. I made a deal. Witness protection. You testify and you walk free. A new life with me. With you. I laughed hysterically. You think I want to be with a rat? I'm not a rat. I'm a cop doing his job. Your job was to lie to me. My job was to stop a murderer. Sirens wailed in the distance. Blue and red lights flashed on the road. They're here, Damon said. Elena, come with me. Please, it's the only way. I looked at the house. I looked at the beach. I looked at him. The man I loved. The man who betrayed me. I hate you, I whispered. I know, he said, tears mixing with the rain on his face. But I'm saving you anyway. He grabbed my hand and dragged me towards the dock. I fought him. I kicked. I screamed. Let me go, I want my father. He can't help you now. We reached the boat, a small speedboat. Damon jumped in and started the engine. Get in, he ordered. No. Elena, get in or I will arrest you myself. I stood on the dock, shivering. The police were swarming the house, men in FBI jackets. Freeze, federal agents. They saw us on the dock. There, on the boat. Stop. Damon looked at them. He looked at me. Elena, please, he begged. Trust me, one last time. I looked into his amber eyes. I saw the truth there. He did love me, in his own twisted, lying way. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't betray my blood. Go, I said. What? Go save yourself, I'm staying. I'm not leaving you. You have to. They'll kill you. My father's men! They're everywhere! A shot rang out. It hit the water near the boat. Damon, go! I pushed the boat away from the dock. He stared at me, horror on his face. Elena. I'll never forgive you, I screamed. Never. I turned and ran back towards the house, towards the police, towards my father. I heard the boat engine roar away into the darkness. He left. The cop left, and the princess was captured. I sat in a metal chair. The room was cold. A man in a suit sat across from me, Agent Miller. "Where is he?" Miller asked. "Who, Detective Salvatore? He was supposed to bring you in." "He left," I said. "He ran." "Coward," Miller muttered. "And your father?" "I don't know." "We raided the penthouse too. Empty. He was tipped off." Miller leaned forward. "You're in trouble, Miss Rossi. You're an accessory. Obstruction of justice." "I want a lawyer," I said. The door opened. My father walked in. Not in handcuffs, in a suit, accompanied by his high-priced lawyer. "My daughter is leaving," he announced. "She's a suspect," Miller argued. "She's a victim," the lawyer corrected. "Harassed by a rogue cop who seduced her under false pretenses. We're filing a suit." My father looked at me. His eyes were cold, disappointed. "Let's go, Elena." We walked out of the station. My father didn't speak until we were in the car. "You slept with him," he said. It wasn't a question. "Yes," I whispered. "He was a cop. I didn't know. You knew tonight, and you let him go." I froze. "Don't lie to me, Elena. My men saw the boat." He sighed. "You have a choice. You can be my daughter, or you can be his whore." "I'm your daughter, Papa." "Then prove it." He handed me a gun. "Find him and kill him." I stared at the gun. It was heavy, cold. "Kill him. He betrayed us. He betrayed you. It's the only way to clear the debt, the only way to show me whose side you're on." I looked at the gun. Then I looked at my father. "Okay," I said. "I'll do it." I lied. I wasn't going to kill Damon. I was going to save him. Again. 3 months passed. I was back in the penthouse, but it wasn't home anymore. It was a prison. My father had doubled the security. He watched my every move. He was waiting for me to lead him to Damon. I played the part, the obedient daughter, the scorned lover. I went to parties, I shopped, I smiled for the cameras. But at night I searched. I used burner phones, encrypted messages, old contacts Damon had let slip. I had to find him before my father did. One night a message popped up on a secure forum. "Wolf is in the den. The Den, an old boxing gym in Hell's Kitchen." Damon had mentioned it once, a place where he went to blow off steam. I grabbed my coat. I grabbed the gun my father gave me. "Going out, Princess?" Marco, the head of security, asked. "Art gallery opening," I lied. "Don't wait up." I slipped out the service entrance. The gym smelled of sweat and old leather. It was late, almost empty. In the center ring, a man was hitting a punching bag. Shirtless. Tattoos. Scars. Damon. He looked different. Harder. He had grown a beard. His movements were violent, punishing the bag as if it were his own conscience. I watched him from the shadows. My heart ached. He looked broken. I walked towards the ring. He stopped. He sensed me. He turned. His eyes widened when he saw me. "Elena." "Hello, detective," I said, stepping into the light. He dropped his hands. He walked to the ropes. "You shouldn't be here. It's not safe." "Nowhere is safe," I said. "My father knows you're in the city. He has a hit out on you." "I know," Damon said. "I'm baiting him." "You're baiting him," I gasped. "Are you crazy? You want to die." "I want to end this," he said, climbing out of the ring. He grabbed a towel and wiped his face. He stood in front of me, close enough to touch. "Why are you here, Elena? Did he send you?" I pulled the gun from my purse. I pointed it at his chest. Damon didn't flinch. He looked at the gun, then at my eyes. "Go ahead," he said softly. "Do it." "My father told me to kill you," I said, my hands shaking. He said it's the only way to prove my loyalty. He's right, Damon agreed. If you kill me, you're free. You're the Don's daughter again. No questions asked. And if I don't, then you're a traitor. And he'll kill us both. He took a step closer. The barrel of the gun pressed against his bare chest right over his heart. Pull the trigger, Elena. Be a Rossi. Stop it, I cried. Why are you doing this? Because I deserve it, he whispered. I lied to you. I used you. I broke your heart. Yes, you did, I shouted. I hate you. I know. But I can't kill you. I dropped the gun. It clattered to the floor. I collapsed sobbing. Damon caught me. He pulled me into his arms, holding me tight against his sweaty, scarred chest. I'm sorry, he murmured into my hair. I'm so sorry. Why didn't you leave? I asked. Why are you still in New York? Because I couldn't leave you behind, he admitted. I tried. I got to the border, and I turned around. He pulled back to look at me. I love you, Elena. Cop or criminal, that's the only truth that matters. He kissed me. It was a kiss of surrender, a kiss of two people standing on the edge of a cliff. We have to go, I said, pulling away. My father. He has trackers on my car. He knows I'm here. Damon's face hardened. He's coming. Yes. Good. Good Damon, he'll bring an army. I have an army too, Damon said. He whistled. From the shadows of the gym, men stepped out. Not mobsters, cops, SWAT team. This was a trap, I realized. You used me again. No, Damon said. I used myself as bait. I knew you'd come, and I knew he'd follow you. You knew I wouldn't kill you. I hoped. He smiled weakly. It was a gamble. Tires screeching outside, doors slamming. Surround the building. He's here, Damon said. He grabbed his gun and a vest. Stay behind me. No, I said. I'm coming with you. Elena. He's my father, I said. I have to face him. We walked out of the gym. The street was a war zone, police cars on one side, black SUVs on the other. My father stood in the middle of the street, flanked by his men. He looked like a general. Elena, he shouted. Come here. I stood next to Damon. I took his hand. No, Papa, I said. My father's face crumbled. You choose him, the rat, over your own blood. He's not a rat, I said. He's a good man. And you're a murderer. I did it for you, my father roared. To build an empire for you. I don't want an empire built on blood. Enough talk, Damon stepped forward. Vittorio Rossi, you are under arrest. You think you can take me? My father laughed. Boys, his men raised their guns. The SWAT team raised theirs. Standoff. Don't do it, Papa, I pleaded. Just surrender, please. My father looked at me. He looked at Damon. He saw our joined hands. Hatred twisted his features. If I can't have you, he snarled, raising his own gun. No one can. He aimed, not at Damon, at me. No, Damon screamed. He threw himself in front of me. Bang! Damon jerked. He fell to the ground, dragging me with him. Fire! The police captain shouted. Chaos erupted. Gunfire. Screams. But I didn't hear it. My world narrowed to the man lying beneath me. Damon! I pressed my hands to his chest. Blood was pouring out. So much blood. Elena, he gasped. Are you okay? I'm fine, you idiot. You took the bullet. Had to. He smiled, blood staining his teeth. Job description. Stay with me, I cried. Don't you dare close your eyes. I'm tired. Princess, he whispered. So tired. His eyes drifted shut. Damon? No, wake up. The shooting stopped. Silence. I looked up. My father was lying on the pavement. Dead. I looked back at Damon. Help! I screamed. We need a medic. 3 days later. I sat in the waiting room. I was numb. My father was dead. The Rossi empire was crumbling. The FBI was seizing everything. I had nothing. No home, no money, no family, just him, if he lived. The doctor came out. Miss Rossi. Is he alive? I asked, standing up. He's awake, the doctor said. It was close. The bullet missed his heart by an inch. But he's a fighter. I let out a breath I had been holding for 3 days. I walked into his room. Damon was pale, hooked up to machines, but his eyes were open. Amber eyes. Hey, he rasped. Hey yourself. I walked over and took his hand. Your father. Dead. I'm sorry, Elena. Don't be. He made his choice. And you? He asked. Are you okay? I'm homeless? I shrugged. And probably going to prison for aiding a fugitive. You won't go to prison, Damon said. I made a deal. Another deal. Witness protection, he said. For both of us. New names, new lives. Somewhere far away. Wyoming or Montana. With you, I asked, if you'll have me. He squeezed my hand. I'm not a cop anymore. I resigned. I'm just Damon. I looked at him, the man who lied, who fought, who bled for me. I don't want Wyoming, I said. No, I want Paris. I smiled. You promised me Paris. Damon laughed, then winced. Paris, he agreed. We can do Paris. Accordion music, chatter in French, clinking of coffee cups, bells of Notre Dame. Paris. I sat at a cafe sketching the Seine. Your coffee, madame? A waiter placed a cup in front of me. Merci. A man sat down opposite me. He was handsome. No beard, no shadows in his eyes. Is this seat taken? He asked. It depends, I said, closing my sketchbook. Are you a cop? Nope, he grinned. Just a man in love with an artist. Then sit, I invited him. Damon sat down. He took a sip of my coffee. How's the painting coming? Good, I think I'll sell it. We don't need the money, he reminded me. The book deal advance came through. Damon had written a book, Undercover Heart. My Life in the Mob. It was a bestseller. I like working, I said. It makes me feel normal. He reached across the table and took my hand. Are you happy, Elena? I am, I said honestly. Are you? I'm with you, he said. In Paris, eating croissants. What could be better? Maybe one thing, I said. What? Marry me. Damon choked on his coffee. What? Marry me, I repeated. For real this time. No secrets, no lies. Just us. He looked at me. His eyes shone with love. I thought you'd never ask. He pulled a ring from his pocket. I've been carrying this around for 6 months, he admitted. You were waiting for me to ask. I wanted to make sure you were ready, that you didn't miss your old life. My old life was a cage, I said. This is freedom. He slid the ring onto my finger. He leaned across the table and kissed me. The tourists cheered. The accordion player played louder. The Mafia princess and the cop. It was a tragedy on paper. But in real life, it was the perfect love story.